Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. It's your girl, Maria Park, and we are here to talk about Charm Season 4, Episode 6, which was insane. Episode 6 was insane. Honestly, I did not think we were going to have what we had tonight, so that is a thing. But let's just kind of jump in. So the opening of this episode, I was getting Harry Potter vibes. I don't know if you guys were getting that, but I was getting Harry Potter vibes. We literally had the tally man imitating Tom Riddle, doing like I hate all the muggles, all the magical creatures should become first and blah blah blah. This is literally what I was having Voldemort, Tom Riddle type, thoughts with this opening. It was like, what in the hell is happening here? He started name dropping all the stuff that the Charmed Ones have dealt with so far. The Source, the Faction, the Tomb of Chaos. He said, and what happened to them? What happened in those situations? And I'm like, well, technically, you guys don't know the whole story because, they didn't tell you everything that happened. So, but he was taking everything that they went through and kind of twisting it in a way. But we'll get to that. So, yeah, he was definitely channeling his inner Tom Riddle in this situation. So Mel and Maggie are trying to make this like traditional Ghanaian omelet I think it's called chibam. Looks really effing good. So now I've decided I'm gonna have to make this because it was a hell of a lot of peppers in that, but it made me want it. So that is something I will be trying tomorrow morning. So I'll let you guys know how that. I might even take a picture of it if I get it right and put it on my community tab. So we'll see. But I love when I watch shows and they inspire me to make recipes. But it's a thing. So Kayla is right now in denial because of the randos, is what they're calling the randos parents that kind of showed up. She's saying that it doesn't bother her, because she was adopted and she's already gone through all this stuff. So, this is basically another thing she has to deal with. But you can tell, they were Mel and Maggie were trying to make her this chi-bum omelet because they thought they were cheering her up. And they don't want her to run back home because now that they realize they're not related, they don't feel like they have enough pull to keep her there. It was one thing when she thought they were sisters, but now that she knows that they're not sisters, that is a real concern. What keeps you with us? We have to stay together. We're sisters, but you don't. You can head back to Philly whenever the hell you want. So that is, to me, was legit. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so the girls basically have decided that they wanted to help Kayla, but in order to do that, Mel says, well, there's a spell we can use, but we're going to have to kind of need something from right before you were adopted. So I already knew that was going to be a thing. So that's their plan. Now, Maggie's alarm goes off because it's time for anger management therapy. And this is when something cool happened. That I thought it was cool. We got Ray back. We were just talking about Ray last week, and Ray is back. I am very, very excited for this, especially since he's now going to be part of the plot and not like in the OG Charm when the dad kind of was either the babysitter, like he would watch Wyatt, or he'd show up to try and mend some fences for, he actually has a plot, which I thought was pretty cool. Like that's not something that season 2 or 3 really got right as far as I'm concerned. I don't even feel like they handled him explaining the whole Dexter situation and him being upset that Marisol cheated on him and that's why he was a bad dad and blah, blah. I felt like there was a better way for them to deal with that. So I'm glad that we're getting Ray back. And he actually came, he basically came in a very interesting way. So his friend Chuchi, did we ever meet Chuchi? I don't think we did. Chuchi's like an anomaly, but Chuchi has been spying on them and giving Ray like all the deets on what's happening. So he found out about basically Maggie losing her shit and beating this guy up on the street. And because Chuchi has connections, instead of her going to anger management with a therapist, she got her dad as an intervention, which is good and bad. Because honestly, it's kind of like a nepotism thing. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, it's your dad. So of course he's going to sign off on you being, able to walk away and stay within the, the limits of the law because your dad doesn't want you to go to jail. So I don't even understand how they agreed to this plan, but we got Ray back. So I'm just going to suck it up. But so he basically talks to her and, she's talking about leaving and then he starts grabbing his chest. And then, she's like, well, you're faking a heart attack. That's not going to keep me to stay. And then he actually like is really in pain. And she's like, oh my God. So then he tells her, I have a, angina, which is a real thing. And it's basically the precursor for a coronary artery disease, or CAD, which is another thing. And so he basically says he just needs to, she's like, well, we need to get you off meat and change your diet. And he's like, well, I'm afraid, I was afraid you were going to say that. And he said, well, I have my pills in this bag. And she goes to open the bag, and it's her little stuffed pink elephant named Trunksy. Very original name for an elephant. It's cute though. And so he tells her, talk to Trunksy. So basically she emotes everything that's happening to her to Trunksy. And we learn that the reason that Maggie is angry is not because Macy died. It's not because she broke up with Jordan, which we learned in this episode. They officially broke up. Like, they didn't say it last week, but they broke up. That's a whole other thing, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But after she gets down to the meat of it, we realize that the reason that Maggie is angry is because she has whole ass visions and didn't have one that could have saved her sister's life. So she says her magic failed and she's a failure. So she failed everyone, and she failed Macy, and Macy's dead. So that is Maggie's problem. She's blaming herself for Macy being dead. That is legit. That is some legit stuff, because number one, her magic did fail, because why the hell didn't it work? Like, you were able to get him on command for most of last season. I don't know what happened. So, that is a thing. And I love that earlier in the episode, right before she goes to anger management, they get delivered a box with a spider, insignia on it, which we know is from the Tally Man. And so, of course, they do what any logical magical creature would do. They put a damn force field around the damn thing, so, keep it out of harm's way. And Mel's like, can you try to have a premonition? And of course, Maggie's like, I haven't been able to have one since Macy died. That becomes a key fact later on in the episode, which we'll get to in a second. So there's that. So let me jump on to the mini Harry Jordan bromance that's going on right now. So Jordan's living his best life. He's at Safe Space. I don't know if he's back to working for the law clinic. He was having coffee, and two of Roxy's goons show up to get him to come with them. And he's like, can I at least finish my coffee? And they're looking at him like, we're about to beat out of you, get your ass up. And he's like, okay. And so they were about to strike the match to go back to the Blue Camellia in front of everybody. And Jordan's the one that's like, hold up, not here. The hell's wrong with you? Like the Power Rangers, you got to go off in the corner to teleport. What the hell's wrong? So, I thought that was really funny that Jordan was lecturing them on being magical creatures. But he shows up, and Roxy's basically called him there because he needs to heal Harry. And the reason he has to heal Harry is because Harry is now a necrolighter. Yes, he is a necrolighter. So what he did was he traded his powers as a white lighter in to be able to commune with the dead in this place called the Veil. And the Veil is like the in-between. It's basically where, I think it's like limbo between heaven and hell. So basically it's where you go when you have unfinished business and you've died. Now I was like, okay, I'm not hating this. I'm to the point now where I don't want too much focus on Harry, but I do want to figure out what this, necrolighting thing is about. My problem is that I saw the preview for the 29th, because we're not getting an episode on this coming up Friday. So the 22nd will be No Charmed, which is what are we going to do on Friday? But I feel like he's focused a little bit because he wants to see Macy, and it looks like there's going to be somebody that's dressed like Macy. My money is it's actually going to be the guardian chick of the tree, though. I don't think it's going to be Macy. It's going to be the other one, because she also was a charmed one. And the guy in the preview did say, somebody came with a cloak and she was a charm one. I don't think it's Macy. I think it's the other girl, the one that told them that the new charm one was coming. But that's just me. I'm putting it out there. That's who I think it is. But I do feel like we're going to be focused a little bit on Harry again. I need Harry to stay in his lane this season. We've been doing great without you. I'm not saying you can't be on the show. I just don't want focused shit about Harry. I will be very upset, because we've been doing so well season 4 if they revert back to Harry and his witches. I swear you will not like this channel. All right. So Jordan, he heals Harry, and then Roxy and Harry come up with this like lie that Sunny, they were interrogating her and she escaped and she injured Harry. And so, he heals him. You can tell Jordan's kind of got this look on his face like, I think you guys are lying to me. But he kind of goes along with it. And then he starts talking about Donnie. Why can't we question Donnie or Donnie's wife? So he decides that he wants to do that. And then, of course, Jordan is like, Harry decides he's going to go. And Jordan's like, can I go with you? And Harry's like, oh, sure, lead the way. Now, I love that Jordan literally is trying to get Harry to not only let Macy go through most of this episode, but he's also trying to get him to confide in him on what he's actually doing with Roxy. And he said the girls have their sisterhood, but we got our brotherhood. I'm like, did he just say we got our brotherhood? So Jordan and Harry are now brothers. So I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not hating it. I just thought that was very interesting because, it's Harry. And Harry was Hasty. He wasn't Harry and Jordan. He wasn't Horton. So now it's like Horton is now the bromance going on in Charmed. I'm just putting it out there. But like literally Jordan, there's a scene where he's talking to Harry and he's like, where have you been? It's been 2 weeks. You don't write, you don't call. He almost sounds like a jilted lover. And Harry's like, I lost the love of my life. You don't understand what that's like. And then Jordan's like, me and Maggie broke up. And I wanted to say that's technically not the same thing because Maggie is like alive and Macy is dead. But Harry reacted like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I thought you guys were working it out. The 180-ness of that was extremely funny to me. But the fact that Jordan was like, well, I know your boo died, but me and Maggie broke up. I'm like, I don't know. Jordan was bitter. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jordan was bitter in this episode. Let me tell you why. So after all is said and done, he finds out Harry's little secret that he's a necrolighter because he has to heal him again. He's very angry. Then he tells Harry, you have to let Macy go. And Harry's like, I tried, but basically he can't. And he's like, well, we'll work it out and all that. And then Ray calls him. And when Ray calls him to meet him, because when he talked to Maggie let him know that they broke up. He first does the daddy thing and said, don't give up on my daughter. She's worth all the patience, and basically, get over yourself. And he's like, I know it's not my business. And then Jordan says, you're right. It's not your damn business. I was like, oh, bitter. Like, he is bitter. So Jordan's in his feelings this season. I'm just putting it out there. And you know what? I'm not hating it, but I just think it's extremely funny that the person that was like the psychologist, the calm one, the voice of reason, which he still has with Harry and others, he is not that way with himself right now. He is like bitter. He's like, I'm tired of enabling this girl. She outdid her. I mean, he was like, like, what is happening with Jordan? But I think it was really, really funny. So yeah, when he meets Ray, though, Ray basically informs him, and he says, you cannot tell my girls that he's cursed. And he opens up his shirt, and like literally his heart is glowing in the effing dark. His heart looks like a damn glowworm in his chest. And he's like, I wouldn't found myself cursed. I'm like, oh Lord. So I'm extremely excited to see what that storyline is going to be about, which is weird because I didn't see that in the preview. Doesn't mean it's not there because Ray wasn't in this preview for this week. So it's a thing. All right, so that's what's going on with Ray, Jordan, and Harry. So let's move on. By the way, I think the reason Roxy is having Harry do that is because her wife's dead and she wants to commune with her dead wife. That's what I think is happening. I think all of this is Roxy and Harry partnering to talk to their dead lovers. That's what's happening in the Vale. So let's get back to Mel and Kayla. So Mel and Kayla, while Maggie's off supposedly at anger management, they go back to the command center and they have the package still encased in the magical juju force field. And they use this spell that's like a cross between a see-through spell, and they describe it as an x-ray machine. It's actually in English and it rhymed. I was getting my OG Charm vibes. I'm like, what? It's not in Spanish. It's not in Latin. What? So I was very excited that this spell was in English. And so she, like, Mel performs the spell, and then they're able to see that there's actually a box inside. So they open the box, and it has like this like Riddler, I have to be on the next Batman movie type rhyme, where he's basically saying, if they want to save hundreds of people, they need to sing the song, basically close the box before, the shit hits the fan. Well, they don't understand what it means. They try all these different songs. So Kayla's like, hey, I know what I can do. I can bring this box to Dev, this guy I'm kind of having a thing, crushing on, who I think crushed on me, and we were having a moment and blah, blah, blah. So she takes Mel to the club. But when they get there, Dev is like in his feelings. He tells them, you guys are full of shit. Like, you only help witches. You don't care about us lesser magical creature. I mean, it was Harry Potter, man. I'm telling you, it was Harry Potter. He was speaking on behalf of the muggles, only the magical muggles. Like, he was like, you don't give a crap. You only help who you want to help. You selective. You're entitled. You're just a bunch of posers. And I was like, Dev and his feelings. So Kayla was kind of like a little puppy that got kicked. It was pretty sad because she does like him. But what we did learn is when she first went to them and she opened the box, his hearing went crazy because, he can hear things on different frequencies. So the frequency it was putting off that they couldn't hear was driving him nuts like a dog whistle. So, of course, Kayla and, Mel go back to the command center and they're still trying to figure out, I think it was at the command center or they went back to the house. I can't remember if it was the house or not. And they used this spell called the Tongue of Babel that Mel came across because, she was hoeing during the summer and she had a lot of women that didn't speak English. Some of them spoke no language at all or magical. They weren't human. So she needed something to translate any sound and anything. And I love how they were both kind of shaming each other. Like Mel was talking stuff, some smack about her choice with the dog boy, Dev. And then Kayla was like, oh, well, you basically were hoeing around the whole damn Blue Camellia. I mean, they were just like talking crap. And then when Mel was talking about the spell and then they used it and it worked. And she's like, this is why you don't slut shame. And I'm like, I'm here for it. But I thought that was funny. And then it made me have a really cool epiphany that maybe nobody else will say in a charm review. Kayla's in an interesting position in that house because her being the only one who's technically bisexual, she can compete for women, against Mel and men against Maggie. So they got a double threat in the house. Just saying. But yeah, so they finally sing the Jolly Goodfellow song. And they get these 3 tickets. They're like dinner tickets. And they go through the portal. And it's basically a big, elaborate, dinner table, which I don't even know if there was food on the table. It was very pretty. It was set up. And there was like name placement cards with all their names. And they had Michaela. They had Kayla's whole name, Michaela. I thought they were going to have like Melanie and then Margarina or Margarina, whatever her name is. But they had Maggie. And then they had Mel. And then they had Michaela. And so they all have placements. And of course, the Tallyman's there baiting them, saying, you should watch the show, blah, 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 blah. And there's a spider there. And it actually ends up biting Mel. And when her blood splat on the napkin and on the table, I knew something was up with that. Because she got bit by the spider. And Kayla's like, let's go back to the command center and take care of that spider bite, which I don't know if they did that, actually. They went back. I don't know if they took care of the spider bite. But they went back. And, of course, Maggie shows up, and this is when the vision thing comes into play again. So after she has the epiphany that she's angry at herself and angry at her, basically her power for not warning her that Macy was going to be, basically that she's going to die. Ray did this whole thing where he's like, what would your mother say? And you guys, when he said that line, I was like, there's so many things I wanted to say at that moment. Number 1, don't have affairs. Number 2, if you have multiple children, maybe you should write a long letter explaining yourself in case you die. I mean, there's a lot of things that, Marisol should have said, but stronger together is what we got out of that. So, he's like, you and your sister are strong, so go to your sister. Now, he doesn't know about the other girl, so I can understand why he wouldn't say anything about Kayla, but he's like, basically, stay with your sister because you think that seeing the future is your thing. He's like, actually, I always thought your thing was your connection to your sister. So she went back and she's like stronger together because she first tried to have that vision and it was kind of blurry, but she needed the power of 3. So we finally saw them use the power of 3 by touching her shoulder, which now makes me question a lot of shit. Because if they had the power of 3 in this episode, why didn't they have the power of 3 in the other episodes? I just have to put it, I got to find something. Because we were under the impression that the reason they weren't using the power of 3 is because Kayla doesn't know how to use it yet. But apparently they have the power of 3. They're just not using it in a fight for some damn reason. I don't know why. Because if they had the power of 3 when they were at the Ripple Spa, they should have used the power of 3. Like, it's just confused by that. But It's a thing. Throwing it, put it over here in the corner of question markness. I have a whole box of question marks over here. But they use the power of 3 to strengthen her vision. And so she sees that there's basically a lot of people that are like about to die. So she first sees people like kind of like not really it's kind of like a communion type situation. A lot of people just walking around looking at stuff like at a boring dinner party. And she can't figure out at first where it is, and then of course they use the power of 3 and she learns that they're at this hotel. And I wrote the name down. It's like the gnome of something. Hold on, let me see if I can find the note. But I know it's in New York. And I know that Mel was like, oh, that's in New York. I've been there. I'm like, damn, girl. You've been everywhere. I'm like, Mel has been traveling since Macy died. She's been living her best effing life. So if she was at that hotel, it was probably with one of the women from the Blue Camellia, which means she's probably a regular member. So, but they end up going to the hotel. Now I'm looking for the name because I did write it down, but I want to make sure because there's a lot of notes on here. And they come to find out that this is a 1-year memorial for the people that were lost to the faction. Because remember when the faction were kidnapping all these magical creatures and basically experimenting on them to try and get their powers. Well, this is a 1-year reunion or memorial since the faction fell, I guess. And kind of like, memorial for the people who lost. So think like 9/11 in the magical world. So, which was crazy. And Nome is where the heart is. That's what it's called. Nome is where the heart is. And when Mel was like, oh, I've been there. It's been in New York. I'm like, So they get there, though. Kayla, Maggie, and Mel get there. And, of course, Dev is performing there. And so Kayla goes up there and tries to talk to him. And she's like, these little spiders. Well, Maggie had a vision, and the little spiders are basically also bombs. They also learned that because one of them was about to explode because Maggie came and heard it ticking. And luckily they cast another magical shield around it so they didn't explode. But that means that there's a bunch of them at this memorial. And so Kayla's like, this jerk, literally the 1-year memorial of the faction's defeat where all these people lost loved ones. He's going to blow them up. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And so they get there and she tries to talk to Dev. And of course, Dev is like, he's really, how do I say this? He's kind of tired of the Charm One shit, even though it's basically brainwashing by this version of, the Tally Man, this world's version of Tom Riddle. And he's like, no, you guys are, full of crap, and he's like, why should I believe you? I mean, they're saying that you're not even a real witch. And I was like, oh, he's just like coming for Kayla. And Kayla's like, you're right. I'm not a witch. I was just a girl from Philly. I've been through a lot of stuff. I was adopted. I had cancer. I've been rolling with the punches. And then I found out I was magical. And I don't know. She basically like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So no, I'm not a real witch. I have all of this burden and I don't know what I'm doing. But I like you. And he's like, get off the stage. And at first you're thinking he's like saying, basically, I don't have time to talk to you. But what he ends up doing is he gets on the mic and he starts singing in a frequency that takes out every spider in the effing room. So essentially, the Charm Ones did not save the people. Dev saved the people. Just throwing it out there. And I thought Dev was very cool for that. And I'll get back to him in a minute. The same time, the Tally Man actually was there and he saw the Charm Ones, and Mel and Maggie start chasing him. Maggie grabs his pocket watch, which I think is going to be a big deal later. And they go chasing him. I love when they run through the kitchen and like Mel jumps over one of the guys the Tally Man like knocked down. And I can't remember if he just got up or if it was another one, but Maggie essentially just knocked the guy down again to get around him. But they get to him and like he starts flipping out and he's like, oh, you weren't even supposed to be here. You were supposed to be watching it from the theater. Why are you here messing up my plans? And the spiders were gone and, he used the remote and it didn't work. And he's like flipping out like he's 5. He's having a 5-year-old tantrum because he didn't get his way. And then he drinks his magical blow up juice. And then he literally laughs and says, I'm telling him or whatever. And he explodes, which for me, unless he was just, I know he implied at the beginning of this episode that there is a lot more and there are other things out there. Like there's a group called The Unseen that we learned that Donnie was a part of through his wife that seems to be a radical anti-charm, type or Charm Ones group. I don't know if he was working with this group. I don't know if he was just a peon on the shoot and there's more coming because we see Sunny again in this episode. Sunny shows up and grabs the blood, Mel's blood off the napkin and says, I think she said something like 2 or 3 down or whatever and 1 to go or something like that. So they're planning something, and I'm hoping it's not they're trying to bring the source back. That'll piss me off. But I feel like they're planning something, but they are like, there's a whole like, they're pretty much a terrorist group. And like, I wonder if he was either a founder or he was lower on the chain, because he's implying that bigger, badder things are coming. So I don't know. But when he blew up, I was so hoping he was going to have like a bigger, badder, badass role. And if that's like it for him, that's so anticlimactic for me. And this is just for me from a writing standpoint. I don't like that. I don't like the call to just blow him up in this episode and then move on to the next bigger, badder, or whatever. I know we need to move the story forward, but I mean, if you're going to have me build up this whole tally man, like boogeyman persona, I just feel like maybe we should have had a little bit more time with him if that was a thing. So again, it's a thing. But, I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I just really wish that had not been the case. But, it did lead to them having, of course, the pocket watch. Maggie still has it. She brought it home. And, Dev shows up. I don't know how he got there. I guess they let him in the house. I'm not sure. This goes back to my question, like from last week. Their house, their magical house that followed them from Hilltown to, Seattle on an abandoned lot is now being able to be seen by everyone. Now, you can make the argument with me that he's a magical creature so he can see it and it wouldn't be cloaked to him. But I mean, humans have seen this house. So like, he just shows up outside of Michaela's bus when she was on the phone with her mother asking for her baby blanket to be sent to them and banana fritters, because that sounds amazing. And so they talk. He talks about the in the past, his entire family, his mother, father, sister, like all of his family, 18 years before, were in a bomb, an explosion that killed them all, and he lost everything, his entire world, which is so messed up. And he said basically what happened at the hotel with the bomb again, it triggered it. So it was a PTSD thing. And he's like, the only person I wanted to talk to about it was you, Kayla. And so they start kissing. And of course, I'm pretty sure they got it on. So I'm not going to say they're a couple, but now they're a thing. I kind of thought that was going to happen. Just like I think Mel and Roxy are going to become a couple. But I think right now Roxy's trying to talk to her dead wife. And so it's a thing. We'll see how that plays out. But I do know that when Michaela was hinting about Mel's taste in women, she was talking about Roxy. So, I'm really curious to see how that plays out. But that was a thing. And then all the girls, of course, also had a moment before that when they were talking, and Michaela was like, I'm actually feeling all of my feelings about the rando parents. I'm excited. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And so they're like, we'll help you with that. And then Maggie's like, I didn't realize how angry I am at myself. So I'm going to need to work through a lot of stuff too. And so they're all talking about helping each other with that. So we got Jordan having to help both Harry and Ray. And then we have the girls all dealing with their shit, which honestly, I don't hate. I like that everybody has their own stuff they have to deal with, but they all are working together. I just need to see more of the power of 3, because, I hate it when they split people up most of the time. And last week we had, Mel with Roxy, and then of course, she had sent Michaela and Maggie back in time. This week it's Mel and Michaela, and then Maggie's off doing her thing with her dad, and then coming back to help in the end. And it's like, I really want that feeling of all of them doing stuff together, because I don't want us to just veer off course. Like, because season 2 for me was just a shitstorm for that. I just could not stand it. And it played into season 3. So I really need them to be together more. I know we're still trying to figure out Michaela, but I just really want that, because the charm ones are stronger together when they're actually together. Don't be stronger together long distance, be stronger together. So I need that to be a thing. My other heart is I really want Brynn to come back, because I really like Michaela's best friend, and I really want her to make appearances. I don't want her to just be like, that was her only episode. She has no other arc, no other purpose other than to text Michaela every now and then. But I really need that to be a thing. So I don't know. I want more of Michaela's friends and her parents and everybody to make an appearance, because she's going to have to tell her adoptive parents that she's magical or a witch at some point. She can't keep it from them. I mean, you can't lie to your parents that raised you. And then, of course, what's she going to do when she finds her biological parents? What's she going to tell her adopted parents? So that's going to be drama all in itself. There's lots of potential for this. So I'm excited for that whole revelation. But again, I just need them to be together a little bit more. So that is a thing. That is a thing that I am here for. So to summarize, we have Michaela dealing with finding her family and getting it on with Dev. We have Maggie coming to terms with the fact that the person she's the angriest with is herself and having to deal with it. We have Jordan, who's bitter over his breakup, and apparently the support and psychologist for Harry, as well as the person who has to decipher and fix the curse for Ray without telling anybody, which of course is going to really come back and bite him in the ass if he decides to get back with Maggie, because he didn't tell her, he's not letting them know that their father is sick. So it's going to bite him in the ass, and I already know that's going to happen. We have Harry, who cannot let Macy go, so he has given up his powers. He is now a necrolighter, so that is a thing. Ray is back, by the way, and cursed, which I've already said, but I just want to put that on the list. We have Mel, who, quite frankly, I don't know what's happening with her time powers, because her hands were glowing when she was confronting the Tally Man, but it didn't look like fire and it didn't look like ice. It looked like light. It looks like she had some kind of light manipulation power, and that's not her power. So I don't know what that was about. So I decided to suspend my disbelief and just ignore it. That's what I did with that. I just ignored it. But I think going forward, she is going to have drama with Roxy. So that is something I do see for her future, because Mel has to have either a cause or a hookup. It's just what has to happen with her. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of safe space, because again, I am so confused on who runs it. Because I remember last season, it keeps coming into my brain that, the company was trying very hard to control safe space, and Macy was like fighting them on it, saying, no, we need to do a legal killing. And they're saying, no, we're losing money. And like basically they were hemorrhaging money, after Julian died. So if they are shut down, and I'm pretty sure they said the company is gone, what is funding safe space? Like what's funding it? Is it now public? Is it private donations? Who's handling this? Who's paying the bills? That's what I need to know. Who pays the lease for safe space? So that's my number one question. My next question is the legal clinic. Is that why Jordan is there? Because remember, Jordan owned the boxing fitness ring or fitness center upstairs. So does he still do that, or did he give that space up and just focus primarily on the legal clinic? And if that is what he's doing, how is he paying his bills? Because again, to be clear, being an impromptu inserted part white lighter, which is what he is right now, does not make any money. And he's broken up with Maggie, so he can't sleep at their house anymore. What is he doing for cash? And when does he have time? Because he's always like at the Blue Camellia playing elfin poker, or he's like off healing people. So when does he make money? So question mark, that goes in the question mark. I don't know what he's doing for cash. I legit have not seen Mel go to work. I have not seen Maggie go to school. None of them have been doing shit and that I've seen. So I don't know how they're making money, because if Mel's the only breadwinner right now, because she's the only one with a job since Maggie is in school, what does that mean? Just like if you remember the premiere of this season, Maggie had an application to go get an apartment. I'm assuming she was trying to get Jordan to give her some funds because she'll have a job. I'm like, so how are you going to pay for said apartment? You needed Mel to co-sign, but she's not going to pay your rent. So what is that? So that's a thing. Jordan and Harry are now the brotherhood of the lighters. I don't know, because I don't know what the hell they are, their own brotherhood. So I'm like, bros before hoes. That's basically what I got out of that from Jordan. So that is a thing. Then of course we have the mystery of the pocket watch, what they're trying to gather with Mel's blood and the other items they've required. What is Sunny's end game? Because I'm pretty sure that Sunny is way up the butt of the unseen. She's probably one of the founding members of this terrorist group, and probably has been for a long time, using Roxy as connections to probably recruit people, because she's the bartender, which I think that's probably where she met a lot of the people. They're thinking, that Tally Man got to him. I think the unseen is what's been getting to people. And the Tally Man was just a figurehead that they were using to thwart, the charm ones or keep them busy from their other plans, nefarious plans. So that is something that's going to be interesting. So yeah, there is a lot going on in this season, and I'm here for it. Very, very good episode again. 6 episodes. I have little nitpicks, but no complaints. Definitely my second favorite season. I'm still a number 1 loyalist, guys. I love season 1, but season 4, I'm loving it. So I can't complain. It is what it is. All right. Get some water and read some questions because I'm talking too much and my sinuses are killing me. Oh, yes. And sorry. Yes, I still have the Band-Aid on, guys. I'm sorry. I had a mole removed. I think I told you guys this, and I have to leave this on so I don't have a scar. So I have Vaseline under it. So if you ever have to go to the dermatologist or you understand my pain. You have to walk around and people are like, did your spouse punch you in the face? I'm like, yep. I'm like, absolutely. All right, so let's go up here. Is there a lot of comments, questions, concerns, and things? Hello, Mr. JTV. Hello, Johnny Mills. Blue Savior 24. I cannot with Harry. Huh. Well, I've said this a million times. As somebody who has grieved a previous spouse from dying from cancer and her mother dying from cancer, and is still very much grieving, especially over her mother. Grief affects you in weird ass ways. So Harry having nothing in his life but Macy. Let's be clear. Nothing in his life but Macy. He literally lost the only thing that made him feel good about himself. It's true. Like legitly true. So if you think about it from that perspective, nothing he does shocks me. Be real. Nothing at all. Hey folks, I managed to stay up for once. Hello, Stewie. How are you? Hi, Mercenary. Hi, Jake. Magic Me. I knew Maggie's hair was going to play a part in something. Oh, that was funny. That's funny. Hello, Dee Marie. How are you? Also, Ray was back. I was so happy. Yes, he is. Yay for Ray. Ray always getting himself into something. Of course he is. To be fair, he's kind of like Indiana Jones without the cool theme song and the whip. He goes around looking for magical items, and he's an archaeologist. That's what he does. So, of course he's going to find, a way to curse himself. That tracks. Is it just me, or when Rupert is directing the episode, there's always a singing part in it? I'm seeing a pattern. Well, what's interesting is that Jordan wasn't one of the ones singing, because I remember he like name dropped. I think it was like episode 2 or 1 when he season 4 when he name dropped how Jordan was walking around pretending to be the Phantom of the Opera, which we know in real life that Jordan was in the Phantom of the Opera and he was actually the Phantom. So I don't know. It's interesting. I will tell you this though. Kayla can kind of sing, Maggie can sing, Jordan can really sing. Mel can't sing. When they were singing that song, I was like, she is really trying here, isn't she? I'm like, but no. So I was in musical theater, so you can tell when someone's off, and Mel's actress is off a lot when she sings. I see why she doesn't like doing it, but that was interesting. It was interesting to listen to. Sunny's looking more evil by the day. She is. She's hot though. Isn't she? I hate when the hot girls are evil. Ray coming back makes me think Kayla may be related to him in some way. I wouldn't know how though. So we're gonna put that in the box of question marks. It feels good to see Ray back. I'm glad they're bringing back a lot of previous season characters. I told you I really want them to bring Nico back, and I really, really want Jada back for closure. I need closure. I need it to make sense. I need them to fix all of the fuckery that happened in season 2 and season 3. Although I really do want to have an appearance by Abigail. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, I need it in my life. I just need it. Glad Ray is here. He better be in more episodes. I agree. He has to be in a few. His heart is a glowworm now. It's like literally glowing in the dark. Hello, Kenny Low TV. So if you guys didn't know, we did a little Charmed video on his channel. Go check it out, where we were talking mad smack about Charmed and just we're going off the rails. He's fun and crazy like me. So check him out, like and subscribe and do all the things. This whole season is leaps and bounds over the series. I mean, it really is. I mean, again, I still do love season 1, but season 4, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Usually Phoebe's premonitions save lives, but seems like Maggie's premonitions can't save all. It feels like her visions don't do anything. I might be real with you. Just like if you really think about it, she should have been able to touch her dad after that and be like, "You're lying. You're cursed." I see it, and she's not. So yeah. Oh my God, I learned all about the birds and the bees when Harry fell into Jordan's arms. I know, right? I'm like, the bromance is on. Maggie magic failing was a great topic, never touched on or expressed by Phoebe Hollowell. I actually think Maggie's power to summon visions is stronger than Phoebe's. Phoebe just had that 4K 3D TV. It's the 90s. They didn't even have 4K. I mean, no, it's just what it is. Her stuff was analog. That's what a problem is. And Maggie's is digital. But yeah, Maggie, or early 2000s, should I say. But yeah, I feel like Maggie, they do like to dive more into the emotional aspects of it. But again, I'm so split on this, guys. I hate that they did away with her panic disorder, because it's like that was a big deal. And if you're going to have a panic attack at any time, it's going to be when your sister died and you're feeling guilty and you're hating yourself. That's panic right there. They turned her panic disorder into anger management, which is very weird. Not saying you can't have anger management and panic disorder at the same time. I'm just saying it just went away. It's just gone. And I'm like, I don't understand how that works, because I have generalized anxiety disorder. So please give me the recipe for that shit. Because like, I can't stop my anxiety attacks to come randomly for no damn reason. So then why can she, as a charm one, like without any magical intervention, just literally legit stop having panic attacks? It's like it just went away. And this is the problem that I've always had. I said this a million times about CW writing as a effing whole. Case in point, I watch a show called Kung Fu. I'm a little behind, but I need to start doing reviews on it. But one of the characters had a Me Too moment with her boss, and it was a big deal in season 1. Here we are in season 2, and it's not even mentioned. Not even the repercussions of what happened in season 1 are being mentioned. So like, I don't know. They try and take this approach to these big issues, and then they just drop the ball like it doesn't happen or matter. I don't understand it at all. So it is something that it just bothers me, and I really want them to do something about this in season 4 at some point, where she revisits the fact that she has panic attacks. So that is a thing. It's a thing. It's a Blue Camellia Jordan's new home, because haven't seen him move from there. Well, he was at Safe Space and they made him go there, but I do feel like he's there a lot. So yeah. What is a necrolighter? So basically, a necrolighter is Harry's invention. He called himself that. It is a person who is able to commune with the dead. So they're able to take their consciousness, go into the person that's dead, meet them on this plane called the Veil. We probably know it as the astral plane in somebody's mind, but for dead people, if you were an X-Men fan or a comic book fan, but it's literally the in-between. I don't know if I think The Good Place had that. The name had like an in-between world between heaven and hell, where you basically decided where you were going to go, but you lived your life or whatever. So it's the Veil. It's where all of the unfinished business of corpses or people that have passed go, and you're able to go there and talk to them. And it's Harry's obsession to get really strong with this power that he traded his white lighter powers for, so he can go and talk to Macy. He wants to meet her on her plane and be able to be with her. That is exactly what it is. And it's killing him, because he doesn't have any control over it. And every time he uses it, like his hand, like pretty much like it turns completely black. Like it's literally like the skin is dead, and then he blacks out. And if Jordan hadn't been there, he probably wouldn't wake up. He keeps healing him. And it's like he's draining his energy, his soul, whatever, which is interesting for a white lighter. So I don't know. I don't know what happens when a white lighter gives their powers away and becomes a necrolighter. Because essentially, if a white lighter gives their powers away, aren't they dead? Because he was dead when he became a white lighter. So I'm just very confused how somebody who was essentially a cross between a corpse and an angel is no longer the angel. Does that not mean that you're now the corpse and you are essentially dead? I don't know. I need Celeste to come on here and explain this to me, because I'm confused. We have a confirmation of that breakup. We did. They both said it in the episode that they broke up, which is not something we saw them do, but they said it, so it's true. So basically he is a magical medium. Pretty much he's Cat. but with more suffering. Like, pretty much. I've seen the promo for the new episode, and if we do see Madeline come back, at least as a ghost, I'll be so happy. Don't get your hopes up, though. I don't think it's going to be her. I mean, it would be cool if it is. I really legitimately think it is the other girl, the guardian of the tree, you know, the one that told them about the new charm one. I think that's who it is. Maria, you got your wish. We saw Jordan at work this episode, and at Safe Space at that. Kinda. I mean, I don't know if he was working, but I don't know what he was doing. He was drinking coffee and working on something. We need an episode about Safe Space. I need to know what's happening. The episode airs for you tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm loving this season. If there's a season 5, please, directors of season 4, stay. Yeah, definitely showrunners. The directors can go. The showrunners need to stay. So I am absolutely cool with that. Jordan is never off the clock. Everybody keeps needing him for stuff. I know. I mean, I feel bad for him, actually. It's why he's snappy. Like, I did not think he was going to say that to Ray. Like, you're right. It's none of your damn business. I was like, ooh, he's spicy. He was spicy in this episode. I swear to God, they better not make this about Harry again, and that's not going to be a good look. Yep, I'm right there with you. So Roxy is using Harry to try to talk to Wifey. The plot has revealed itself why she was helping him and their mutual interest. Yep, exactly. If Harry is going to be like a necromancer in season 1, then that's interesting, but this better not be a focus of Harry or I'll be upset. We will all be upset. You will know it in this stream. We have a new ship. Let's see how long before angst sets in. Yeah, that's true. This episode was good. Yes, it was. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Kevin. Last 2 episodes, all I could think is how useful it would be if Mel has the power of temporal stasis, but then the episode would be so short. You're absolutely right. Heck, if she had temporal stasis, it wouldn't be an episode like at all. Same when Jordan compared Harry and Macy when Macy died to him and Maggie breaking up. Like, I was like, that is not the same damn thing. Exactly. That's not a good comparison. It's like, I don't understand that. I don't get it at all. It'd be like, you know, my mom just died. Oh yeah, me and my mom, we're not talking to each other. We got into a fight yesterday. I'm sorry. Like, it must be hard for you. Like, stupid. Like, that was such a stupid comparison. Like, I don't get that at all. I agree with Jordan. Harry didn't need to move on because Macy is not coming back. But see, the problem is that he's like, but I can go see her. She didn't want to come to my crib. I can go to hers in the afterlife. So that's what he is saying. So we'll see. Random question. Kayla's powers. Could the manifestation power ultimately lead to her manifesting any active power she wants eventually? I wonder. That's a good question. I don't know. I know that I love when she did what I thought was going to happen. She drew something very quickly. She only had a couple of minutes to draw, and she actually drew a little tiny kid's bow and arrow. I know this because I have a compound bow. And you know, Mel was like, of all the things you could have conjured, you are basically manifested that. But I don't know. I don't know what would happen if she actually, like, what would happen if she drew herself with using that power? Would she essentially use that power? That is a very good question. Maybe that's something they're going to visit later. I don't know. I love Kayla's and Mel's teamwork in this episode. I do too. I absolutely do. Have they ever used that spell so far, the X-ray one? Well, so far we have had a magical ultrasound and magical X-ray spells in the series. I know, right? I was like, the next time we have a magical CT scan. I love how when Ray was having what Maggie thought was a heart attack, she used her inception powers to calm him down. And I'm like, that's fine. But his heart is still if it was having a heart attack, it doesn't matter how calm you are about it. The magical community is not wrong. True. The last 2 seasons, they have only looked after witches. That computer only tracks witches in danger level. Some very valid points to the magical supremacy. I absolutely agree with that. That's the point I didn't come back to. So Dev is true. They actually 100% went more the witch way versus the demon way. And I think that's because in season 2, it was established that witches and demons were at war. Now, what's interesting is it's like they took all of the magical creatures and just threw them out like they didn't exist anymore. And we didn't hear from them again until the one episode where, was it a Winnebago? I can't remember what it was that Mel was channeling, and, you know, she was able to communicate with it, and she was a queen, and she ended up saving it. I have to figure that out. But it was when they had no powers, and it was a potion she drank to be connected to it. And then there's the one where the faction was kidnapping all of these magical creatures. My only problem with that is a lot of the time they were going to save Harry from the faction. They weren't saving the magical creatures. He just happened to be there with the magical creature. The magical creatures still got killed and drained of their powers, and they weren't saving anybody magical. So you're absolutely correct. Season 1, they did. They helped Medusa. They helped a lot of different, magical creatures, and and stopped a lot of demons. So they did have that in season 1. Seasons 2 and 3, though, went completely off the rails in terms of dealing with magical creatures. So you're absolutely correct. And so how season 4, we're revisiting it. But I always want to be like, I wanted them to sit there and say, I know, but we got new showrunners. Trust us. Because that's basically it. It was the showrunners that made that choice. They made a world and a command center where you can take marbles and travel anywhere in the world. And they made the entire plot limited. So like it was only when a witch got in trouble. And it was only like within the state. I think they only went like to another country maybe once or twice. And normally it was like London or like Barbados or some crap or whatever they went. But it was like, you have all this potential to open up to this magical community and you do nothing. Yes, we saw their version, of Diagon Alley, and we have all this stuff that's Harry Potter, inspired. But outside of that, I mean, what the hell were you doing? Nothing. So yeah, he's absolutely true. I mean, like so I said, we've got a lot of Harry Potter muggles versus, half-bloods versus, witches and warlocks going on. So it's a thing. I like seeing all the consequences for previous actions. Me too. Even in OG Charm, they save not just witches, but other magical creatures that are good. Absolutely. Well, at least they told us about the faction defeat. True. And what's interesting is it's a 1-year memorial. And I'm like, I guess I'm just curious how they knew about the faction to begin with. The only reason I'm saying this is if their loved ones went there and were like sacrificed and killed, who told the loved ones who killed them? Because the Charm ones didn't. So how did they know about the faction to begin with? So it's just something that's really interesting because if everybody died by the faction's hands, then how do you know who the faction is and that they were the ones doing it? I don't know. If I think too deeply into this, it's going to make my head hurt. I do like the body diversity and positivity in the reboot over the OG, to be honest. How many girls that look like Kayla can you count on the OG and think about the skimpy outfits? None on here. True. Very true. Kayla gave Mel a potion to cure any poison. Is that what it was? Okay. Yeah, I probably missed that one. I have to go back and look at it. Tallyman doing his best Jigsaw impression. That man, he was like, why? Why are you doing this? I'm like, you were supposed to watch it in the theater. Oh, my God. I was like, get this guy a cookie. Give him an animal cracker or something. Something wrong with him. Kayla needs to learn from Luce and just keep a pocket of glyphs on her for use in advance. True that. The Power 3 will grow as their bond grows. But see, I feel like it was really powerful when they touched her shoulder. It's just we haven't seen it. It's weird. I believe the Power 3 only works when all three are together and in harmony. Well, then they need to be together, right? Like, seriously. How do you draw a bow and arrow that quick? That's easy. Stick, line, arrow. It could be a stick figure of an arrow, like it's just a stick in person. It doesn't have to be detailed or anything. But I don't know. I've been asking how she paints. She painted all those pictures or paintings and the club when they went back in the past because they were in a club. Where the hell did she get the paint from? So I mean, that's just a whole other thing. Unless she drew paint and then took the paint out of the thing. That's a lot of painting. She only had a few minutes, so I don't know. We have to suspend our disbelief on some things, guys. And they're getting more in harmony every episode, and they're getting stronger. Yeah, I mean, I just need them to be together more. Maybe they wasn't using the Power of 3 because in the last episode, Maggie didn't accept Kayla as a sister, and their bond wasn't strong enough until now when both Mel and Maggie accepts Kayla. I will only accept that if that actually was something they said in this episode. Because, I don't know about you, how many animes and how many like different shows you've seen where like legitly the person doesn't think they have the ability to do something and then they try it and it never works. And then they get frustrated in the moment of great need. The power works. Well, in this one though, there's no indication that that power is going to work. She was just like, "Hey guys, I need the power through." Like they did this shit every Saturday. Okay, cool. Here you go, girl. I was like, that is what I have a problem with. You have to establish that as a struggle. You have to say, "Hey, our power 3 bond is not strong. We need to work on this." You can't just be like, "Let's do it, girl." That's not how that works. That is not how that works. I guess the showrunners thought that they used the power 3 too much in season 2 and 3. And were like, nope, they need to end battles them by themselves, like in season 1. Okay. I mean, I can't argue with that. If they used the power 3 last season with Maggie, maybe Macy wouldn't be dead with that supercharged vision. I'm telling you, right? Hell, why didn't they do that any of the time she was struggling to have a vision? Yes, Jed, they used the power 3 like a Dragon Ball Z movie. It was like Rapid Spirit Bomb. They really did. I thought Maggie was going Super Saiyan for a second. To be fair, Macy should have taken backup. To be fair, she shouldn't have gone there in the first damn place. She lost her minority card in that moment because I'm sorry. We have strict rules. We don't open the doors. We don't go investigate sounds. If the zombies are going that direction, we're in the car. I mean, we don't do these things. We don't go into caves to go get magical ingredients when we know that bad things were in there. We don't do that. We don't do that. Macy was much too smart for that. They wrote her in that moment to be stupid, and I don't know why. In season 1, the power 3 was good, but in season 2, they changed it, and now they made this potentium trio for their version of power 3. But since season 3, they always use it too much. You can tell there are some Harry Potter lovers in the staff, either in the writer's room or somewhere on there. Can you imagine if Aang or Korra use the Avatar state every single episode? Stop it. Figure it out with spell crap and your active powers. Do you know how cool it would be if they used the Avatar state to defeat everything? I mean, hell, Raiko and Korra would never have to argue about politics anymore. She'd be like, "You will give us money because my eyes are glowing, heifer. We will fix this city." I like that we're going all over the map this season, giving me major supernatural vibes. They should get a car and drive around in it. Power 3 road trip. The Power 3 stuff in season 3 was a bit too MCU for me. It made them seem OP in comparison to the OG series. The stakes felt higher back then. Well, hell, it's because they didn't have their powers for mostly all of season 2. They had to do something. So I love how Mel said they need to take it easy and they immediately run through the hotel. Yeah. Well, for Mel, that is taking it easy. Wink. She's been to that hotel how many times? What was she doing at the hotel? Playing Monopoly? I think not. We're dealing with a magical terrorist group. We are. So the unseen, it's kind of creepy. If you watch Motherland Fort Salem, they're actually giving me some pretty big vibes on the terrorist group in that show. I'm trying not to spoil anything. But that's something that tracks with me and something I think is pretty cool. Maggie could have gotten a premonition of Macy's death and stopped it because in season 3, she knew how to use it to control it, but her grief turned into blaming herself for the death as she could. Yeah, that's the thing, though. When did she lose the ability? That's what I don't understand. They never explained that she could not get random premonitions. So I don't know. Like I said, the whole thing is just weird. There have been a lot of magical groups in the reboot. I do like the whole Evil is Legion, Wolframe, and Heart thing. Yeah. I'm just curious to see who the leader. I know Sunny's up there in the leadership, but I want to see who else is in the leadership of the unseen because there's a lot of potential. There could be a lot of past villains that, like Godric, could be in it for all we know. We might actually see him again. You know, there could be a lot of people that we haven't seen in a long time. It would be interesting if Parker was in it, even though he's like kind of human right now, unless he got his demon power back. Just like Motherland, we are dealing with magical terrorists. It's exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Tallyman is just a pawn in someone else's game that was confirmed by the writers. Cool. I want to know the game, and I want to know the people ruling the pawns. Maybe he was never the true Tallyman. Maybe there were people operating behind him, and he was just a pawn of face like the others. Now that he's dead, we need to figure out, was he the older brother or the younger brother? I mean, if he was the younger brother, then the older brother's a Tallyman, right? Maybe it is his older brother. Maggie could have gotten a premonition of Macy's death and stopped it because in season 3, she knew how to use it. Yep, control it. But her grief turned into blaming herself for the death because she couldn't have stopped it. Like I said, I don't know why she didn't have a premonition. Her visions are just inconvenient at most. The house isn't cloaked anymore due to Ray and a magical object in season 2, which is why I want to know how they're paying the property taxes because they can't just I mean, I don't know about what city you guys live in, but if you put your house in an abandoned lot, the city will get you will get in trouble for doing that. You have to pay property taxes. So you can't just take a lot that's abandoned because somebody still owns that lot or the city owns that lot. So the city of Seattle should be like, hold up, why is your house here? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Mel said in season 3, episode 4, that the house wasn't cloaked anymore. Then that's fine. And the point that I made even last week is they still have to pay taxes and they still got to explain why there's a whole ass house in an abandoned lot. They use a trope of sharing trauma and making out afterwards. I mean, you already knew that was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. Many were lost, few can be found, and those who remain can be unbound. For where in sisters lurk, danger resounds. A tree of dark and light shall be found. Falco said we'll have the answer to this in season 4. Huh. I like the line, and those who remain can be unbound. That's interesting. That is interesting. Also, what if the Tallyman is pulling a Mysterio and didn't actually die? That could be a thing, too. What if he wasn't actually there? They didn't touch him physically. I don't know. Since the Vera Manor isn't cloaked anymore, can't the magical community find the house and ambush them? I mean, hell, I'm telling you. The city of Seattle can come in and get their money at the door, just having the hand out where the cash. Why is your house here? I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't think if it's that serious that Jake is more like just trolling right now. I don't know. Most of those people probably joined the Unseen that were actually very serious about Charm Ones not, being unfair to them on the magical community. Maybe Kayla was part of the trio of dark. I have so many theories. I'm excited again. I lost interest in season 2 and 3's arc. Wasn't hard to. Jordan certainly has his plate full this season. Yes, he does. This season, he's had his plate full every season. That's the one thing they have continuity on that man. He just does not get a break. Right now, the Charmans are kind of like Kanye West to the magical community. Yeah, they're being killed on magical Twitter. Kevin deserves better, and he was just in 2 episodes. Hashtag justice for Kevin. I'm serious. Hell, the school's not even there anymore. They don't go to school. Mel doesn't go to work. What is happening? I guess, is it supposed to be summertime? Because I know that maybe school's out. Maybe that's why we don't see Mel going to work. I don't know. Hashtag stronger together, the Supergirl motto. Yeah, that's true. Imagine if Kayla is like Christy in the OG, like a sister from another timeline universe and was stolen to then be a weapon to destroy the Charm Ones. Well, I already had the timeline theory, like an alternate universe or alternate reality, like maybe a Charm One from an alternate reality that doesn't, that was reborn. There could be, there's a lot of theories behind that. So there's a lot. I just don't want them to say things like, well, she got a bone marrow from Marisol or from Macy or she's actually Macy reborn. She's a reincarnated Macy. That'll really piss me off. There's a lot that will really make me angry about that scenario if that's the case. That cannot be the case at all. This app was all about feelings and therapy. Yep. Since Jordan and Maggie is broken up, imagine Parker coming back trying to get back with Maggie, but close to the end of the season, Jordan and Maggie might get back together. I don't know. I'm kind of like, will they not? I don't care anymore. I actually don't care if Maggie and Jordan get together. I like Jordan, and he can stay on the show because now he is in a brohood romance with a brohood bromance with Harry. And plus, considering he is the only team therapist, I think he's got a really secure role on the team. So plus we still don't know what's going on with him. Like, what is he actually considered? He's not a white lighter. What are you? Are you a part lighter? Or what are you? The power continuity isn't the greatest with Mel. It's not. I don't. Get me started with that. Joey Falco said we'll have lots more family background and drama coming up this season, and we'll see more Josefina. So happy. Okay, I love Josefina, so we definitely need to have her back. That side hug between Jordan and Harry almost made me cry. I know. Like I said, in the feels, I don't mind Harry being a part of Jordan's story. I just don't want the focus to be on Harry. I am so over that shit. I really am. Now, Mel was using her powers to heat up molecules. I believe she's been working hard and has gotten further than acceleration. She's getting closer to combustion. All I know is that before, when you saw her powers, they were orange, kind of like a reddish tint, and her hands were literally glowing yellow. So she looked like Dazzler from early X-Men days. No, that They need to get that together. They need to pick a color and keep it that way. She has used combustion twice so far in the series. Not surprising. Safe space is losing safe space. I mean, I don't know how it's still there. I don't know who's paying for it. If Julian's company bought it and then they crumbled, like they lost, they were hemorrhaging money and they shut down. They said it, that their company is gone. I don't know how Safe Space is getting funded. And I also don't know what happened to Julian's sister, because if the company's gone, who's paying her to keep her alive? So I'm confused. But yeah, Jerry and Jordan hugging me made me so happy. Technically, Jordan is the only and closest thing to a white lighter in the world right now, which is sad because he's not a white lighter. White lighter brothers. No, this way they're lighter brothers, because Harry's not a white lighter anymore. And I don't understand what that means for him, because I mean, he should be dead then. So I don't know what that means. And once you give up your white lighter powers, you're not human. You're a necro lighter. How are you? I don't get it. I don't get it. Sometimes you get like an off period for a close death. They could be on FMLA type deal. Mel is still working, and I believe Maggie did mention class 2 episodes are so bad. I have to go back and see, because like I don't know. I feel like they're not making money, and I don't understand how they're surviving. Like I don't understand how Michaela goes to the store. She quit her job in the the season premiere, but she's off going and buying groceries and doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, with what funds? You don't have a job. She has no job. I wonder if they're trying to pull a season 6 style doppelganger situation by having them face an evil version of themselves. That could be, they could be making evil charm ones. Oh God, I wasn't able to play it at the time I saw it, but someone reminded me of the evil power of 3 that was hinted at way back in season 2. Thanks for that. I mean, again, this could be a thing where they're making their own evil charm ones, or maybe they're giving 3 people from the unseen charms powers. I don't know. I think there's a faction of the magical community that is uprising against witch supremacy, which is kind of legit. Last 2 seasons, no one has been helping them, and Macy even went to black market. Oh yeah, to get a magical creature part for a potion for their allergy with Harry in that magical black market. You're right. That's actually very, very. I think I even said that in a review last season, that was really messed up, that they were taking like a leg or an arm or something like that. Yeah, that's messed up. Loving this season. Me too. Grief has no time limit. Absolutely. I'm back. What did I miss? So much, Kenny. So much. I'm still telling people from the stream that you hit me, and this is why I had this band-aid on my face, Kenny Love. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. This is just a guess, but I don't think Harry will be talking to Macy, but a different charmed one. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be that chick that's the guardian of the tree. The one that says, there's another charmed one. That's who that is. I guarantee you that's who it is. And he's going to go and talk to her, and she's going to be like, get your shit together. She gone, boo. Like, that's what I think will happen. Right. It's always something with Ray. It really is. Maria, did you talk about Kayla's weapon? I did talk about the puny little bow and arrow she drew out in 4 minutes. Level out. Poor Mel being surrounded by good singers. She's tone deaf. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'll settle for an Abby text mention. Seriously. If Abby knew that Ruby and Mel broke up, she should be there like, I'm back. Did you miss me? Falco said the girls will never move back to Hilltown. He hinted that wouldn't make sense given the story they planned for season 5. I really hope that season 4 doesn't end with a cliffhanger, just in case. So what the hell's happening in season 5? You know what, Joey Falco? I think you guys are on Twitter. I don't spend my time on Twitter. I know I probably should, but it's because there's a lot of haterade on Twitter. I call it chitter. And I just think that sometimes I need to be a real person and not worry about the bullshit that I read online. I'm not sure they defeated the Tally Man because he's listed to appear in episode 7. So maybe they'll imprison him, or it's a flashback. Well, we don't actually know the Tally Man's full powers either. So there's that. Abigail would be good to see who's really going to be with Mel, Roxy, or Abigail. It should always be Abigail, but I mean, I'm not opposed to her and Roxy as long as Roxy gets over her her dead wife. This episode gave me Piper and Phoebe with Victor and Sam. Just pops up anytime to see Paige whenever. Yeah, that's true. That is like Sam. Ray is a lot like Sam. Kind of like Sam, and then kind of like the Charm One's dad, because he did the same thing. He would just pop up like randomly. But normally, it got to a point where he was just Wyatt's babysitter, and sometimes Wyatt and Chris, baby Chris, is take him to Dad's house, and I'm like, the dad is not even magical. He cannot defend these kids. And the time I remember the episode where he had Wyatt over and baby Chris, and I forgot who was coming to get at the babies, but Wyatt put a force field up around them, and he was like, "Not today, mofos." I'm like, do you really need to have anybody watch Wyatt? Wyatt can defend himself and his little brother, apparently. Kayla is better than Paige, most definitely in the powers. Paige, I told you, is a character in OG Charm that really irked me a lot with her. I don't know, her personality bothered me sometimes. It was very annoying. You met with the daddy thing. They're touching on that kung fu plot currently. Okay, I haven't seen the latest episode, but I'm telling you, it should not have gotten to this part of the episode. That should have been in the season premiere. I'm just putting it out there. That's, to me, it's an interesting plot hole they write themselves into, and then they have to come back and address it. And it just seems so lazy in a way when you have this character starting their own business and going through all this stuff and, you know, having her first marital disagreement and blah, blah. And then, oh yeah, let's also talk about the fact that you were sexually assaulted by your boss, you know, and there's repercussions about in the India. That should have been addressed in the season finale. I'm sorry. That's really weird to wait this long. That's just weird to me. I wonder if Harry is now able to heal the dead. You mean like revive, like resurrect the dead? That would be interesting. And he'd probably try and do it on Macy and it won't work. And then he'd be like in his feelings about it. So I don't know. That's interesting though. So who will be the girl's white lighter now? Nobody. They don't have a white lighter. They don't know they don't have a white lighter. They're going to figure it out when they call Harry, and Harry's going to be like, can't. I don't think Harry can teleport anymore. Wow. They have nobody who can teleport. They'll have to use marbles now everywhere they go. Harry is determined to find A.D. or be with Macy, but if you want to be with her, it should have been a guardian with Macy and went with her in the tree. I agree with that. No one gagged that Harry once again completely disregarded his other two chargers and gives his powers for Macy. Like no discussion or the bigger picture. Maggie and Mel should be pissed. Oh, I'm sure they will be. That better be something that they talk about too in the show. Where is Celeste? I want to see her in this episode. I want Celeste to come back and be like, just walk up to Harry. What the hell's wrong with you? Because if he wants to be a white lighter, she's going to have to give him his powers back. He just cannot stop doing stupid shit. It's just what keeps happening. Bryn will probably come back in episode 8, the conspiracy group. The Unseen has assembled a hit list of anyone who has helped TCO. Oh, really? Also, the Charm ones, I guess, yeah, she did help them in that one episode. So, yeah, you're right. My money is on it being the Guardian and not Macy. Me too. That's what I said. The girls and Harry must scramble to warn and save their nearest and dearest now that everyone they know is an instant target. Oh, great. Well, then does that mean that Abby's in trouble too? Because she helped Charm once a lot. Can Mel send Kayla to the past and see when she was born and find out her real parents? Maybe that's what she's going to do when she has the blanket. I don't know. I think the writers of this season is doing a great job and send them over there to fix Batwoman too. Well, Batwoman may not be getting another season, so it won't matter. Joey Falco said Mel clearly not very good at using this power, but as she improves, the truth is nothing. She could totally save Macy or save Marisol or stop Hitler or invent the light bulb. But she won't because we can't. We address it later in the season, I think, episode 12. That's interesting. I wonder if Harry has both powers of being a necro lighter and a white lighter power, but his powers of being a white lighter is draining from him. He said he gave them up, so I don't know. Since Harry is dying from being a necromancer, Harry could die which means writing off his character since Harry's actor doesn't like this season. Cool. I'm okay with that. Joey Falco said Jada will not be back because the actress is busy filming another show. That's weird because a lot of people are filming other shows, like Jesse Martin over on The Flash. I know they just announced he's not going to be a regular in season 5 because he was cast as a lead, but he's still going to be in 5 episodes of the show. You only need her to do a guest appearance in 1 effing episode. That's a really weak excuse for me. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of people come and do cameos on the CW. I mean, they even got Calista Flockhart to come back and play Kat in Supergirl for an episode. So, I mean, I don't understand that at all. But that's just me. Whatever. Charmed, 2018 season 3 episode, magical creature was a Kion. Thank you. It was a Kion. Thank you. Didn't in episode 2 she said to Maggie she always has paint on her? She did, but they were sent to the 1920s and they had on flapper outfits. And where was the paint? I mean, where was the paint? So I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like we have to suspend a lot of disbelief in every show we watch. We need more fighting scenes rather than just using deuterium and waiting for the monsters to blow up. Yeah, I know. I saw in interview season 2 and 3 showrunners love Harry Potter. Makes sense. Didn't we see a Power of 3 road trip in Macy's Deaf episode? We did, but it was like a mini thing and it was all in their head. It didn't actually happen. I need them to hit the road. They need to jump into Michaela's bus and go drive around Power 3, threeing things. Go and visit the magical community like politicians do when they want to get reelected, because they don't really give a shit about you till it's reelection time. I couldn't believe they were knocking over chefs. I know. I was like, this is some bullshit. Maria, which Terry's it group in Fort Salem, the witch or the human group? Which terrorist group are you asking? No, they have a few terrorist groups in Motherland, Fort Salem, but they remind me of a group that you already know what group I'm talking about. I talk about it all the time. It is Scylla's group. Sunny is hinting at the big bad. Yeah, that's true. I think the unseen will just be the magical creature passed with the witch and demon populace that they often get stuck in the crossfire of. I just want it to be a legit terrorist group of all the people that feel like they were not, protected by the charm ones. That's what I want. So we know, just like Phoebe, that an emotional block will affect her psychic abilities. Maggie should have went to the gypsies like Phoebe did for her power block. Well, I mean, first of all, we had her power block didn't make any sense because yes, she hasn't had it since Macy died. But I mean, prior to that, what was happening? I don't understand why she wasn't having visions. I don't know. Like I said, all their stuff is just skewed and was messed up since season 2. So if they renewed season 5, I hope they keep the same way like season 4, because they're doing a great job. I want the showrunners to stay for sure so far. Season 2 and 3 directors changed so much with going to Seattle, and I don't think that damage could be fixed. Now, let's be clear. It's not the directors. It is the showrunners. The showrunners call the shots. They're the ones that go back to the producers and decide what scripts to use. The writer's room has some say, but the showrunners usually have the overall, and the producers have the overall say. Directors could be anything. I could go in there and direct. I don't have much say over the script because I'm not writing it. So if they give me a script, I just have to direct it. So I don't like to blame the directors because it's not their fault. Macy cannot be reincarnated. She is an ethereal being now. It's kind of like when Cordelia, being a higher power, all back an angel. Yeah, Macy as a gift become a different kind of magical being. She's a guardian. True. Maria, it's the same color as when she first exploded the first 2 monsters. It just didn't look the same to me. It looked too yellowish white for me. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Harry is a white lighter. Jordan is a black lighter. I thought not funny. Sorry. Going to hell, Jackson. I think it was her heat molecular power. I'm sure that's what they were trying to do. It just looked weird. I never understood the charm mythology. Is the only women can be magicians. And also, I love season 4, but where is the demon of the week thing? I mean, technically, the demon of the week were spiders. I don't know. They've kind of veered off the demon of the week because we're dealing with a tally man. We are seeing more magical creatures, so we are getting that. But you're right. We are definitely diverging a little bit away from our demon of the week. Maybe we'll have it coming back. I don't know. I'm tired of Harry giving up his powers and then becoming useless later. I'm tired of Harry in general. He just doesn't have a plot anymore. That's probably why he doesn't like this season, because it's not a focus on him. And it's just basically a focus on him being a dumbass. So that's probably why his actor doesn't like it. I truly believe Kayla's parents take care of her, and she has low maintenance artist thing going where she works and banks and lives with low key from what I've seen. No, I'm sorry. When you got no job, unless you're living off a credit card, which I guess you could be doing, you are not buying food. You are not that happy. I will say I love Kayla's hair in this episode. She did her braids. I thought that was really pretty. But I just have to always suspend my disbelief on this network because it's not a charm thing, guys. It happens in every one of their damn shows. People lose their job and somehow they're still able to survive. Like money doesn't matter. So I don't know. Harry gives up his powers for Macy. Season 3 finale gets back powers to bring back Macy. Season 4 gets rid of his half white lighter powers to find Macy and be with her. Harry chooses power or no. Yeah, that does seem to be his theme. Will Harry give up his powers this week? What is grief but love persevering? Vision. True. I reckon if the Guardian is involved, she and Kayla were sisters, and the Cloak Charmed one will be the third. They'll be Ishta, Nara, and Ishani. I would love that to be the case. That would be so cool. I agree with you, Maria. I don't care about the Parker thing anymore either because I'm starting liking Jordan and Maggie's relationship. I hit Maria because she was late to the stream. Kenny, which is really funny because I wasn't. But, you know, that virtual slap, man, that was a mess. You should really not do that to your guests. Collaborations are important on YouTube. You don't abuse your collaborators, Kenny. Don't go. It's full of trolls like Donnie. I think we are getting a flashback. We need to have a lot of flashbacks. Abby would have to fight Roxy for Mel's heart and possibly help vanquish the unseen. Abby would destroy Roxy. Like Roxy would die. All last die. For the next episode, whoever's under the hood, one thing for sure, it's not going to be Macy. I told you it's going to be that Guardian, the Guardian of the Tree chick. I'm telling you, that's who it is. We have not seen her this season, so we got to see her. There is a new female white lighter who joined this series. Maybe that's who the new girl is. Diana, is that her name? Diana or Helena? One of those that's coming. She probably is going to be the new white lighter. Only select charm ones can be a guardian. That was discussed already as a gift for the ultimate sacrifice that some get the option to do. Okay. I remember seeing an article about a white lighter survived, so they might be the charm one's white lighter. Like I said, I do know that there is a girl coming, and her name is Diana or Helena or something like that. I know, right? Harry went from white lighter to human to back to white lighter, and now he's a necromancer. Make up your mind, Harry. Yeah, but he calls it necro lighter. I'm like, oh, okay. BT Woman just got a comic made a new Batwoman. Yeah, I know. Abby is still keeping the demons in line, if you recall. She is. Go back to her last episode. She just moved her seat of power, but she is still the demon overlord and embracing her witch side with her family. Well, see, if she's still technically the demon overlord, then she has reason to come back. I really want Poppy to come back to Charmed. I really do. I don't know how that would go down with the people that believe in their heart that the reason that Macy's actress left was because Abigail was getting more lines or role or whatever, which is bullshit. She should actually have been in her feelings about Harry, not, Abigail. So I don't know. That is a thing. Whatever happened to this rumored Taryn person? Is it Taryn? I think Taryn was actually the placement name for Kayla, but I do know that they did cast a woman to play another character that's going to be introduced, and I thought her name was Diana, but it could have been Helena or something with an at the end or whatever, and that more than likely is going to be the white lighter. Harry's not a necromancer, he's a necro lighter. Necromancers are considered dark magic users shunned by magic community and witches. Well, I mean, he called himself a necro lighter, but we don't know what the hell that is. That is something he coined himself. If you're going by what he's supposed to be, because he gave up his white lighter powers, he didn't say, I also became this. He said, I gave up my white lighter powers. Then technically speaking, he would be considered a necromancer because we have not established a necro lighter in the Charmed universe. That is just something he said. If I took this banana right now and then I made it glow, I could say I was a banana glower. That doesn't mean a damn thing. I mean nothing. I made that up my damn self. So I'm like, hey, bananas glowing in the dark. Don't ask me why I have bananas sitting there, guys. Just live my life. But I just feel like him coining his own name does not make it valid in the magical community. So that's a thing. That is a thing. It's a whole new rare species. Yes, with one member, Harry. I'm like, he literally decided what he was. He's like, this is what I am. Deal. That's what he said. He named it himself. So Harry discovered a new lighter, a necro lighter that no one else has ever done, because I seriously doubt in the history of this universe that any other white lighters or dark lighters have ever effing done this at all. So just saying. So I guess technically necrolighter, necromancer right now in terms of Harry, it's the same damn thing, because I don't feel like he's not a white lighter. He's not an angel. He's not a human. He's nothing. He is nothing. I feel like his new changes would be the dead and their loved ones. He is Jennifer Love Hewitt. He is a ghost whisperer. She didn't have that type of pain. Actually, if I was something I think that he would be more like is what was the name of that show that had Alicia Dushku in it? It was True Something. But she was kind of like a necromancer, but she was able to touch the person and then relive the moments that they died, and they would talk to her, basically. What was the name of that? It was True. It was a True Calling, I think is what it was. I think she reminded me more of Chicky from True Calling. So Harry is trying to die to be with Macy. Bye, Harry. I mean, he could have just died. I mean, honestly, just go. I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, I don't want to pick on people that are having grief, because again, I'm still grieving for my mother, and she died in 2008. This is 2022, and I'm still not anywhere near. I'm never going to be over it, but I'm still nowhere near accepting it. So like, it's a thing. Yes. True Calling. True Calling with Lisa Dushku. Yeah. I effing love that show. Hate that they canceled it, but Harry reminds me more of her than of, any of the other shows, Medium or any of the other shows like that. So it's interesting. I just want to know, what exactly is he draining? Is he draining his soul? Did he get his human spirit or soul back? It's interesting when we're talking about a white lighter. So we don't know what's actually draining spirit wise. It's really weird. Wait, I meant to go back up. Sorry. I'm going to go back to that one. Since Jordan and Maggie not together, can Parker come back and try to be with Maggie? They probably won't do that. I don't know if she's still dating him in real life. She might be. But I don't know if they're going to close that. But then again, who knows? You never know who's going to come back. The showrunners are trying to do damage control on a lot of previous stuff, so you never know. As Terminator said to Melina in Mortal Kombat 11, but appropriate for Harry, so your death will also be an extinction. Good quote. I like how they're writing funny moments and lines for Mel this season. Yeah, I like how they're all nitpicking and stuff on each other. I mean, we had a vibrator scene last week. I mean, masturbation. There are all kinds of stuff in this show. True Calling was a great show. Gone too soon. So many. True Calling, Firefly, all of them got canceled way too early. Harry is the older, annoying Landon of Legacies. He's not needed, and the writers try to make him relevant. Yep, I agree with that. Sorry, but I am a big Parker and Kane family fan. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I love Abigail. I think what they did to Parker was effing wrong. He was trying to become human for Maggie, and they pulled that shit, and it was just like, wow. Yeah, I had a lot of problems with that. Would it be a twist that Kayla's parents are the big bad? That would be cool, actually. Very, very cool. Can't wait for the next episode. Seems interesting with some mystery. There's a lot of mysteries going on. Like I said, I'm here for this whole season. It is really exciting. I'm extremely excited for where this is going. Like I said, I have little questions, but I mean, I'm always going to have little questions, because they can't get through an entire episode without you having to suspend your disbelief on something. It's just what it is. So it's what it is. And yes, I absolutely agree with you. Parker got screwed over, and it's just really sad. Like, I want a redemption arc for Parker. I really do. All right. I've gotten through every question. Woo, girl's tired. Okay. So guys, I am still interested to know what you guys think. So please put your theories on the comment section below, because this episode was good. And like I said, there's a lot of mysteries that we need to unpack before the next episode, which unfortunately will not be until the 29th, because we got nothing this Friday, which is interesting. So some little housekeeping. Me and Joe from Joe's Geek Show, we will be doing 2 streams on Sunday back to back. We're doing one for the latest episode of Moon Knight, And then we're going to do one for that show we told you about called From on Epics, which is a very good show. And we have lots of theories. So we want to talk about that. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a video for the Owl House. I'm not doing a stream in the morning because I have a last minute audition that has to go out first. You know, when my voiceovers, my clients don't care that I have a life. So I gotta be on their timetable sometimes. So I have to do it in the morning. But right after, I'll just do a video and post it. I am not done with the Kung Fu. I am just behind. One, because our cable went out. And so I'm playing catch up on that and the Flash. I haven't watched the latest Flash episode either. So I got to get caught up with those so I can throw some videos up. Sunday is going to be a very long day for me. I'm going to have a lot of videos to do on Sunday. But I'm playing catch up. So I have not stopped reviewing Kung Fu, guys. I'm just behind. I am 2 episodes behind. So I apologize, but they are coming. I promise you. I'll probably do a live stream for that though, because it's going to be too hard doing 2 back-to-back videos on Kung Fu. So look for that this week. I'll try to do it before it airs on, I think it comes on Wednesdays. So I'll try and do it by Monday or Tuesday. So that will be a thing. I'm busy, guys. I got a lot going on. And then as for my motion comic, the release date's been pushed to the 2023, but the YouTube channel is going to start having content by the end of this month. So be on the lookout for that, because you're going to get like character intros and stuff like that, and like a world intro. So all that stuff's going to start. So if you're not subscribed to Warriors of Sarah, it's in the description. Please do. Things are coming. And then be on the lookout for my other ones. I got a video coming for Mixed by Genetics that I did with Victoria. So that's being edited as well. And I have 2 videos coming out finally for Approach the Yuri. So if you're not subscribed to that, subscribe to those. Okay, guys. I'm tired. It is time to go hang out with the spouse, get a massage, and go to sleep. And I will see you guys in the morning. But if it is night for you, have a very good night. If it is morning for you or day for you, have a very good day. And I will see you in my next videos and streams. Bye, guys.